caught the ton on camera, too.
What's a life worth? New information on what the U.S. calls an offer to help. Some say it's compensation for a massacre involving a U.S. soldier.
We got about 30 seconds.
The deep blue sea. This famous movie maker takes us 30,000 feet below, the deepest point on the ocean floor. All that and more right here, right now on CNN.
Everybody chill and take care.
Hello, everyone. I'm Don Lemon. Thank you for joining us this evening. A sea of flickering flames on a somber night in Sanford, Florida. A candlelight vigil for slain 17-year-old Trayvon Martin.
We thank you for being able.
Songs and prayers for the young man whose life was cut short by a bullet. This on the eve of a major march also planned in Sanford where Martin was killed. Protesters will gather at a city council meeting where Martin's family is supposed to speak. Hooded sweatshirts, or hoodies, have become a symbol for everyone demanding justice for Martin. He was wearing one when he was shot. Churchgoers across the nation traded their Sunday bests for hoodies. Many congregations held special services in honor of the teen. Martin was walking back from a store when neighborhood watch captain George Zimmerman spotted him and got suspicious. Zimmerman says he shot Martin in self-defense, but it turns out that Martin was unarmed. There's a lot of talk about Florida's stand your ground law in this case. It allows someone to use deadly force anytime they have a reasonable fear of the harm. Florida Governor Rick Scott is appointing a task force to review the law.
I'm going to have different elected officials appoint individuals, but we'll look at all of it. But the first thing we're going to do is really do a thorough investigation to see what happened here. No one can imagine this happened to their family. We've got to find out exactly what's going to happen. The Florida Department of Law Enforcement, State Attorney Angela Corey is going to do a great job knowing what happened and make sure justice prevails. We have to do that.
Initially, Zimmerman's lawyer said stand your ground didn't apply here because it mostly for defending themselves inside their own home. It's for people defending themselves inside their own homes. But now he's reversing himself, saying it does fit in this particular case. I want to get right to CNN's George Howell. He's standing by in Sanford, Florida. George, we mentioned that major rally planned in Sanford on Monday. What's going to happen?
Well, Don, at this point, we know that rally will start right around 4 o'clock, leaving a local church here, moving over to Fort Mellon Park, and then over to the Civic Center. And again, that is where city commissioners will hold their regular meeting, the schedule solely on the Trayvon Martin case. We're expecting many people, maybe some celebrities, Don, to attend this meeting. And also, Don, as you mentioned, we are learning more from George Zimmerman's attorney that he will use the stand your ground law. What do we know about George Zimmerman? Not a lot at this point, except for what we learned from police, that he did have grass stains on the back of his shirt, a bloody nose, bleeding from the back of the head. Was this self-defense? Again, the attorney initially said that he would argue self-defense in case his client is arrested, but this time we now know, Don, that he will use the stand your ground law.
It has been a month since this happened. Do we have any better idea where George Zimmerman is at this hour?
Don, a good question. A lot of people want to know that. At this point, we do know that his attorney knows where he is. The attorney did indicate that police may not know where he is. Some confusion with regards to that, but George Zimmerman clearly in hiding at this point. Hard to get in touch with him through phone or where he lives. We even went by his home address several times. We're unable to find him there, Don.
Yeah, and as we understand, his own attorney has said he has told him, given him the advice to lay low at this point and stay out of the media spotlight. Thank you, George Howell. We appreciate it. Even President Barack Obama has weighed in on the Trayvon Martin case, but Republican presidential hopefuls immediately accused him of being divisive with his comments. So who's really politicizing this killing? More on that in tonight's No Talking Points coming up at the half hour. You don't want to miss that.